I think the table tennis ball has 3 trajectories. Look, the first one. This is one curve. We also call it the backspin curve. And another incoming ball is topspin. That's the flat curve. The third one is a half-high ball. That's the downward curve. Yeah, basically these 3 curves. For example, when I loop against a backspin ball, after the opponent returns, it becomes topspin. In amateur play, you must level the racket angle and play the flat curve. Let me demonstrate. The first one, I looped it up, but the second curve was wrong. This stroke is meant for handling backspin. Most mistakes happen here. They come from not judging the curve properly. A backspin ball is like a plane taking off. That's the takeoff curve. And the topspin ball is like a flat curve. The downward curve is like a plane descending. The descending curve. So the curve will affect how you apply force.
Many players hit a backspin ball with a flat curve. So when they hit it, it goes into the net.
When facing topspin, they use a takeoff curve. So the ball flies out. The takeoff curve means your backswing starts low. After hitting the ball, there's a clear height difference. From here to here, rising upward. The flat curve means there's little height change. It's just forward movement. But you can't lift too much. The downward curve means you start high and hit the ball at a low point. I divide it this way just for easier understanding and memory. For amateur beginners who don't have much basic skill, this helps understanding. To refine it further, take backspin for example. If the arc over the net is very low, within half a ball's height, you must follow that curve. But if your opponent pushes really high, almost double the net's height, that height, yes, you need to pay attention. You must adjust. It still requires a rising arc, but not too much. It should be a rising to flat transition. If you still loop like before, it'll likely go long. So you must adjust. Drive more forward. Amateur players often face this. When facing a half-high backspin ball, they loop it, but it goes out. Let me loop one.
When the arc is very low, I use the takeoff curve. But if the incoming arc is higher, with the same motion, the upward space becomes smaller. At this point, I need to stop earlier. That way, the ball won't go long. But if I still use the takeoff curve, it'll fly out. So when the arc is about 2/3 through, you should flatten it out.
The bigger the arc, the longer the ball. And longer means out. If you train with this theory, you'll reduce many errors in matches. For very low balls, you must fully use the takeoff curve. Right. This is another issue. Make a full arc. You must brace and forward. Let's break it down. Now you serve one. What I mean by brace, watch. This is brace. This is hit. Quickly snap the racket off the ball. So hitting tends to cause errors. But if you loop the ball, accuracy is much higher. If the incoming ball is very low, and you need to create an arc, you should brace into the ball. Really feel what brace is like.
When you face a looping or spinning ball, you tend to rely on friction to neutralize the spin. Friction alone won't work. After using friction, you also have to extend the arc. Just combine these two factors organically. A backspin return has both weight and spin. Add a slight outward release of power with your fingers. You must have this awareness in your head. When you see the opponent's return is high, immediately use a downward arc. When you see it's low, just use a takeoff arc. When you see a topspin ball, immediately use a flat arc. Once everyone understands this theory, they need to practice more to build muscle memory. Only then will you be able to adjust your movements in time during a match.